WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
I can't believe I'm putting my voice to this.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Thank you for your irrelevant opinion.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say. I'm a broadcast journalist. I have a right to my opinion.
Son of a...
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary.
Hello and welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon here alongside a whole litany of folks. In fact, because of that, I've taken over the production chair. That's right. I'm pushing the buttons and turning the dials and doing all that, as well as hosting the show. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a lot going on today, and that's because we got a couple of in-studio guests, and we're going to go ahead and get right to them here. Couple of recently, I don't know about recently acquired friends. I don't know what word exactly I want to use to describe. I mean, I've known Cory for, about 9 months now. Cory Kastle, had you on the show here before. I don't know, 9 months, a year, something like that.
It was September. Pardon me.
There we go. Bring the mic a little bit closer. Let the people hear you.
It was September of last year.
September of last year. Oh, so it's been over a year.
Yeah,
wow, 13 months.
It was the day of my return to the ring.
Ah, that's right. The big hype, yes.
So I came here first and then headed right to Reading, right from here in September last year.
That was a heck of a drive. Now, for those who missed that show, tell the folks a little bit about yourself. I mean, I could hype you, but who better to hype you than you, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't know who can hype me better. No, but I've been a pro wrestler since 2002. You do Google search, you probably learn a little bit more than I can probably tell you right now.
You could tell in this brief period. It's CORYKASTLE. Just for those who want to, people can type and listen at the same time. We're multitaskers around here.
About a year ago, I made my return after 13 months from a surgery that I had to have in my brain, and then came back to wrestling, and I'm now actually doing better in wrestling than I was doing even before all this. So.
Now, it wasn't a brain implant, right? No, I'm teasing.
Yeah, they gave me one. I didn't have one before.
Oh, okay. So it was like the whole scarecrow thing with the Wizard of Oz, right?
Right, yeah.
Just having a little bit of fun. Things have changed a little bit since last time you were on, as you heard from the intro. A little different. Just poking a little bit of fun.
Yeah, it seems a little more professional this time.
A little more professional.
A little more
professional. I thought you were taking a jab at me. I was gonna say,
this place sucks.
Have to throw down in the commercial break here or something. No, but all jokes aside, I mean, it's really cool that. I'm kind of every time I have you in here, I'm without words. I'm marveled at. I mean, the whole comeback. I mean, doctors initially said there was no way you were wrestling, right? After having the surgery, and you basically told them, bleep you, I'm wrestling again.
Right. They were like, expect to not do anything ever again. And I was like,
yeah, no, forget that.
So, we're just, here and then, on to the next step and the next step and the next step, which is, ultimately why I'm here right now.
Yes, and that next step, of course, why my other guest is here, well, why both of you are here, but Anthony Bruno, filmmaker from Temple alum. Got to show that Temple love. Go Owls.
Yes, thank you for having us, man.
Well, I was going to say, tell us a little bit. Of course, you've got, we talked about it briefly when you were on my other, yeah, I guess I'll lay claim to it. My other show, I know RC will kick my butt for that later, but Completely Damaged Radio, you can hear that on Thursdays online at moncoradio.com. I'll give him the quick plug. But for those who haven't heard, talk a little bit about the film that you've got coming out, Wrestling with Disaster.
Yeah, Wrestling with Disaster has been in production for about 9 months now. We're nearing the end of it. We have a couple of more shoots to go to wrap it up, and then we'll be out in February of 2014.
Excellent. And to help with a couple of those things, I know Facebook has been flooded with it. I'm not as much of a Twitter follower as I am a Facebooker, but I know that you've been looking for a little bit of help with that. Why don't you let the people know a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. We have hit Kickstarter to do a Finishing Fun campaign. Basically, with the last couple of shoots and then editing costs, things like that, we're pushing to Kickstarter. That's you can go to our Kickstarter, which is http://bit.ly/kicks WWD KICKS WWD.
And for those who didn't get all that, and if you follow the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page, I have the link to not only the Kickstarter page, but also to the Wrestling with Disaster movie website itself up on the WBCB Facebook fan page.
You can visit either wrestlingwithdisaster.com or wrestlingwithdisasterthemovie.com, and it'll take you to the same place.
That is some clever advertising. I like it.
You like that?
That is brilliant. It's like it brings people in, kind of like how they had to for a while put WWF.com and WWE.com to link to the same place, same type deal.
They did that with I think WCW too. Like if you tried to go to WCW.com,
it moved you over to right after they bought them out.
Right.
That's some crazy stuff. Well, without giving too much away, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the film. Pretend it's like my intern Lucas over here, and he hasn't heard of anything having to do with the film other than what I told him last week. He's shaking his head at me.
So let's.
I'm just poking fun.
Yes, listeners, I'm in the studio. For once, I was actually quiet.
Well, you can feel free to chime in. I'm sorry, I don't mean to overtake.
It's fine.
So we'll get an intern's insight segment coming up in a little bit. I don't want the intern mad at me.
Oh, I'm not mad.
This week.
Okay, so
all right, back
the parts of the documentary. I guess the way that the pro wrestling has been highlighted in documentaries and films out there, and basically in TV, is pretty not positive. There's not a whole lot of positive light shine down on wrestling. When it comes to documentaries, they frown upon, they show all the parts of wrestling that kind of are shady and seedy, and this is kind of hearing a story from a perspective of overcoming those kind of tragedies that could have, very well ended really badly, or how people would have dealt with that disaster and moved past it. And we've had some sit-down interviews with names such as Lenny Poffo, the Warlord, Kevin Sullivan, Fred Ottman, Tugboat, the Shockmaster. I know everybody goes to the Shockmaster first.
Yeah, he overcame that disaster.
Yeah, that's a disaster to overcome for sure.
But the more and more time goes by, the more and more we're shocked by how much upper echelon talent has kind of attached themselves to our names. And at this point, who else do we have? Anthony?
Well, I mean, honestly, we have a few names that are going to be announced in the next couple of weeks, especially to our Kickstarter exclusive audience. We got to give them a little something for helping us out.
Okay, so if you go onto the Kickstarter and put in a contribution, that's how you'll be able to get access to the exclusive, behind the scenes things before they're released to the public, that sort of deal, and an advanced screening of certain yet to be announced names, that sort of deal.
Yeah, exactly. And we're also putting up some sneak peek footage of the film on Kickstarter as well. So,
and there is what we're considering exclusives. So they would only be seen by those backers and not seen by anyone else.
Oh, so this is stuff that isn't necessarily in the film, but is raw footage perhaps that won't be necessarily in the film, but is exclusive just to those who have contributed to the Kickstarter campaign.
Right, to show our appreciation, of course.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I mean, I
gotta get out my wallet, throw some shekels in there for that.
Some of it will be in the film. Some of it is just kind of like content that's not going to make the actual film. But we're trying to mix it up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you probably have hours and hours and hours of footage, and have to cut it down to X amount, whatever the length of it's going to be. Whether it's 2 hours, 2 1/4. don't know. You're the film expert. I mean, I took broadcasting, so I know bits and pieces, but obviously not nearly as much as you did.
Yeah, if I told you the ratio of footage to what's going to be in the final piece, you probably would throw up.
Well, we don't want to do that. Nobody wants to be subjected to that over the airwaves. Although I've come close a couple of times with some certain callers, but that's a whole nother story. I think Lucas can agree with me, but
I'm not going to say it.
You're not going to say anything? You're keeping quiet today. I don't know. Are you just awestruck by the whole thing, or not really sure where to chime in? Or?
Well, it's they want to promote their movie. I'm not going to.
You're just kind of keeping your distance. Okay. He has learned something. No, he's learned a lot of things.
I mean, there's so much to talk about when it comes to the movie. It's like we talk about it kind of like at length constantly. Now, when the microphone's in front of our face, it's like, what?
Yeah, you kind of pause and clam up. I mean, you had no problem talking about it, and here's another name dropping. It's with a friend and colleague of mine over on the FM dial, good old Brian Sosha.
Right. No, we didn't have any problem talking about it with him, and we don't have any problem talking about it with you either. But Brian's also a co-producer on the film too.
Okay, so he's got a little added incentive. See,
yeah.
I don't know how he gets into these. I'll have to talk with him about that behind closed doors.
But he's a guy who I've known for a lot of years. When it came to like, I used to do shows on the Wildwood Boardwalk back in like 2004, and that's where I first met Brian Sosha. And he had long hair, and he was called the Chick Magnet, and he was called Mark Smart. That was his wrestling name, Mark Smart. And
that's right. He did wrestle for a little bit, didn't he? Didn't he mess up something with his leg or something? I remember
he messed his ankle up.
Or his ankle. That's what it was.
Yeah, and I
think I met him just shortly after that all happened.
Him and I always had like a relationship. We would talk on the phone all the time. Like, we just wanted to like network with each other and help each other out. And then he just disappeared for a while, and then he showed up at a show and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Whoa, what?
Dude, where have you been?
Yeah,
it's been like 3 years.
I haven't seen you in forever, man. Where you been?" But we've kept close since then, and we in the film captured his retirement match. He had his one final match. He came back. The Chick Magnets is the faction he was in, and they did a tag match, and he got to show his family something they've never seen, and they had some amazing crowd reactions in their match, and people were nuts for his return and his retirement.
That's awesome. I was going to say, Anthony was showing me his phone. It looked like Brian was dialing up his phone as you were saying. I guess his ears were ringing or were buzzing or something because he knew he was being talked about.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, actually. It was funny.
Well, I was going to say, maybe you can get a hold of him over our first bit of business, which we'll take in a little bit here, maybe another couple of minutes or so. I kind of wanted to dedicate the hour to you guys, but on the same token, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on TV. We just had the TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view, WWE Hell in a Cell's going on tomorrow. So there's I don't know. I don't know how much you followed of it. I know you're usually focusing, Corey, on what you're doing in the ring.
That's not true at all. No? I love wrestling. I watch everything on TV. And last time I was here, we talked about predictions and results, and we went back and forth with it. And I was like, "Come on, dude, I can go with this all day. This is my this is
your bread and butter.
This is my life,
Fair. Well,
that's why I do what I do, because they do it on TV.
It makes perfect sense.
Even though they said don't try it at home.
You've tried it a couple times.
Just go get trained the right way, like I did.
Yeah.
Don't try it at home. Go to a friend's house and do it. That's what my friends always said.
Have you followed that logic, Lucas?
My friend has a trampoline, so yeah.
Okay.
But we know...
No hip locks on the couch.
Oh, no, because we'd be going through the coffee table, whether we like it or not. At one point, we'd...
Oh, here we go.
Nothing. Never mind.
No. Withholding the story to protect the guilty?
Well, not that. It's just the fact... me and my friends do a lot of trampoline wrestling. It's not that backyard crap you'd see on like 1,000 Ways to Die, like, oh, these guys are idiots. No, like, well, we are, but that's beside the point. Here, you got another
Admission
drop.
is the first step to recovery.
You've got another drop there, Fearon. You got another drop. We sort of know how to pull off the moves, so it's really fun. Like, yesterday, me and my friend had gotten into a leather strap match, except he has a trampoline, so we just had to pull him to, like, both sides of the... It wasn't like we were actually hitting each other. It was like... No. There was at one point I also brought in a wiffle ball bat and did like the Triple H hammer where he's covering the front of it and just went bam. It was so fun. You really know how to pull it off.
I think your intern's wrestling with disaster.
He might be. You may have to get a last-minute interview with him before the final. Might put that on like the director's cut or something.
The thoughts and opinions, views expressed here do not also reflect the views and opinions held by Cory Kastle and or Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
Oh, okay. Well, since we're going with those...
All commentators heard on WBCB expressed their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
There we go. We got all the disclaimers out of the way. Got to take care of those, of course. Speaking of taking care of, wow, we're up against it as far as taking care of some business. We'll take care of that. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the film. We'll talk our horrid Bound for Glory selections last week. Lucas and I definitely did not help our year average with our predictions.
We dropped the ball.
Predictions certain to go wrong, and they most certainly did. And we'll also talk Hell in a Cell. That's coming up tomorrow night as well. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the Intern and special guests Anthony Bruno and Cory Kastle, creators, and I don't even know what else. There's so many, I guess, other titles I can add to you for the upcoming film Wrestling with Disaster. We're going to be talking more about that and a whole bunch more. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
I always listen to, like, John Cena. I always listen to The Time Is Now, and I listen to If It All Ended Tomorrow.
Wait, you're admitting that you have his rap album?
Not his whole rap album, just a couple of songs.
Nice backpedal.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon Derry.
See what you've done? Be proud. Jerk. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. It's kind of fun to have an edge, isn't it? At least a little bit. Well, I'm kind of dialing that edge back a little bit as I've got guests, so I've got to keep things nice for the guests here. Those guests being Anthony Bruno and Cory Kastle, co-creators of Wrestling with Disaster, the upcoming film. Looking for a little help courtesy of Kickstarter. I got to make sure that I help contribute to that. Hopefully, you can do the same. Check out the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page to find out more about it. Now, you mentioned a couple of it. Lanny Poffo. That name, I mean, that's a pretty big name. Obviously, the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage, wrestled in the World Wrestling Federation as the Genius, and Leaping Lanny Poffo, throwing the Frisbees out to the crowd. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, what was it like talking with him?
Lanny was, I mean, actually really awesome to talk to. We got a lot out of Lanny, especially talking about his last night. Well, it was actually Randy's last night alive.
Oh, wow.
So his last night talking with Randy, he visited over Randy's house that night. And, I mean, we've put some sneak peek footage out on that, so you can definitely check that out. And, of course, exclusive backers get a little bit more. So we have that up right now if you want to go check that out. So
okay, and that's at the Kickstarter page.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, Lenny, though, he had a lot of great stories. He basically ran through his whole, his early life, his career, the whole nine. I mean, you got to imagine this guy, he had big shoes to fill.
His father, Angelo Poffo,
his brother, exactly. So Lanny was a heck of a conversation with him.
Man, I guess one of the things that jumps to mind is how does the process start of saying, hey, we'd like to interview you for this film? Like, how do you go about like talking to these guys and getting that whole process started?
Well, for starters, when this film was in its early months, it wasn't easy. Okay, you reach out on Facebook, on Twitter, and just you pray for somebody to get back to you, or it's who you know and what their connections are and so on and so forth.
Cory?
It's a whole lot of it doesn't hurt to ask.
Exactly.
What's the worst they can say is no, that sort of deal?
You can say no or you can say nothing, but at least I put the question out there.
Right. Hey, and that's what I did with a handful of people, and eventually I met Cory, and then we continued to further that process.
Progress with the process. Yeah, I see where you're going there.
But it was really nice because as this film has continued to grow, things have been a lot easier for us to get talent on the film. So sometimes people are actually coming to us now. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. As the word has spread and the film's got bigger,
more people are like, "Oh, this looks interesting. Let me get in on this."
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of crazy.
What's important to know is that we have 19 days left on our Kickstarter, and if we don't meet our goal, we get nothing. So it's important to go donate and share it with your friends who will also donate, because we want this movie finished, and as much as there's a buzz going around and people want to see it finished, they need to
it requires a little bit of help from the wallet.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't understand, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding website. I mean, we're all in it together, basically, and we just need that extra little boost to finish this thing up, and that's where Kickstarter comes in. And a lot of people love to be a part of something, and this is your chance to be a part of Wrestling with Disaster.
Okay, yeah. To clarify, you have a set amount of time to collect the donations for the project, and if you don't meet that goal by the deadline, you don't get any of the donations that were put in. They essentially get refunded, I guess, to the people. I'm kind of half saying and half asking because I've never done Kickstarter or anything before. So right. I want to paraphrase, simplify it for the humanoids out there, for the ham and eggers,
for the Bucks County people.
Basically, for
worldwide, we're all over the world.
I'm Bucks County. I'm from Langhorne. I went into Chamonix. I'm just messing around.
I know.
Film.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Yeah. Lucas going to Pennsbury. There's been some back and forth trash talk between he and I.
Question: is it PayPal or credit card? Like, how do you pay how do you donate to the Kickstarter?
Yeah, one of the deterrents actually has been that Kickstarter is associated with Amazon payments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Kickstarter is associated with Amazon payments, so a lot of people, they get on Kickstarter and they're like, well, I don't want to be a part of Amazon, so I'm not going to do this. Listen, it takes 5 minutes to sign up and do the whole thing. But ultimately, yeah, if it's a pledge, and if we don't hit our goal, you don't have to pay anything. But if we hit our goal, then your pledge is much appreciated. So
the funds are only withdrawn from the proverbial accounts if you hit the goal, which in this case for you guys is what was it, 12,687 or something like that?
12,637.
637. Doggone it, I was close. Oh well, I thought I had it here.
Some of the results of this is really shocking, and it's fun and exciting to know. Like some of these people who are really big names are then reaching out to us or retweeting. We just got a retweet from Kevin Nash the other night.
Oh, sweet.
And Conan.
Just too sweet, in fact.
And Conan actually in the middle of the night last night, so it's kind of cool.
2 retweets from Julie Hart.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, so I think the more momentum it starts picking up and it gets shared, we meet our goal. Fingers crossed.
Now, I should also mention this is something that I'm quickly just pulling up. The donations, depending on how much you donate, you kind of get various perks and benefits. I mean, not just as far as footage, and if you check out the Kickstarter page, you'll see all of them, but everything from a personal tweet, that's I guess for the lowest tier or level. I mean, all the way up to like a T-shirt package, Wrestling with Disaster T-shirt, or what is it, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades T-shirt.
Yeah, we're giving away a lot of stuff. T-shirts, DVDs. We have autographs on there. I mean, even Pitbull, Gary Wolf, we're giving away his one of his ring-worn outfits that's signed by him. You know, there's a lot of stuff on there. We're also doing producer credits, executive, co-executive producer credits. I mean, you have a chance to really be a part of this film by going through Kickstarter on the highest level possible, which is executive producer. You know, so there's a lot of opportunity just by going through this site.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking. I'm intrigued by this. If you pledge $100 or more, you get a thank you credit in the film.
Absolutely,
so you can actually get you can get your name in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, see, that's me. I did that.
Yeah, and on actually IMDb.com too. You get to go on there and see your name on there too. So it's kind of cool.
So you can get an IMDb entry just for ponying up some coin.
You get to be an IMDb, which is like where all the major movie stars are, like Hugh Jackman, then Ron from Langhorne.
Yeah, you can be part of 6 Degrees of Separation.
Pete from Levittown.
So in a way, you can find a way to connect yourself to Kevin Bacon in 6 moves. There's the challenge.
Yep.
So you're in the movie there with a wrestler with Kevin Nash, I don't know. I'm sure there's a number of ways to do it. Yeah, oh gosh, Super Shredder.
If I could only be connected to Michelangelo. But yeah, that was my childhood dream. Like he was saying during the break, childhood dreams where, you know, well, for him, he's still a child, but my childhood dreams were
he's working on it.
To be a pro wrestler.
He's in development. Let's not rip the kid here.
Okay, well, yeah. Well,
see, I'm sticking up for you.
When I was his age is when I started figuring out where to go to pursue these dreams, and you know, when I started wrestling school as a kid, I was probably a year older than him. I started at the CCW wrestling school, but before that, I had started at UWF.
I was gonna say he's pointing down at a flyer that we were going to talk about in a little bit.
I started at UWF when I was 14 years old. I mean, that was just taking my first bumps, and then I parlayed from that into then learning at a real school and getting trained, like I would advise somebody to do now. I was telling him earlier. To check out the Monster Factory and try to get you know a tryout and try to get himself in the ring and learn how to wrestle for real from real wrestlers. And you know,
they do a lot of great stuff up there. We just recently, I think about a month or so ago, RC and I from Completely Damaged talked with we had Danny Cage up in the studios up there in Montgomery County. So yeah, I have yet to make the trip over there to was it Paulsboro, I believe.
Paulsboro, yes.
I know I need to get there. It's kind of one of those deals where I've already got something booked the night that they have a show booked, and I need to, I think one of their shows is in late November, and I'm already set to be in Florida for a wedding. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
What's cool about it is it's not too far from Bucks County. So
no, it's not that far away. So
if anyone asks me, most of the time, I just recommend Monster Factory, checking that out. MonsterFactory.org is the site. And, you know, a lot of good wrestlers have come out of there. Of course, their reputation speaks for itself, and you know they've helped out immensely in the film. We got some retweets from Danny Cage. Now that you mentioned Danny Cage,
yeah, I'll occasionally name drop. I'm not proud.
And, you know, like it's really cool to have the crew, because what we have been acquiring is kind of a set of go-to guys for filming and helping, and people will really contribute as much as they can. Like this past weekend in Delaware, I had actually a ladder match where the ladder was outside of a steel cage, so you had to escape the cage, get the ladder
to bring
the ladder back in the ring, climb it up, and get the titles that were hanging from the ceiling.
And you're still walking now, and this was a week ago.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
His opponent isn't, though.
Well, he broke his shoulder.
Ooh.
Do you know Zach the Ripper Connor?
I don't know him personally.
Okay. Well, if you've heard of him, that's who he is. And we messed himself up. I got my cuts and scratches all over me, but...
as he looks at his forearms, which have quite a bit of cuts and scratches, yeah.
And
got to describe it for the people. This is radio.
Well, that's what you're narrating, so everything's good.
That's what I do.
It's like Will Forte on a Dimitri Martin album.
Oh, there you go.
Please tell me somebody got that out there.
I'm sure somebody did. Will Forte and if not, we'll look it up during the break. How about that? Try to figure things out.
I'm a big comedy fan. I'm Dimitri Martin. I'm pretty familiar with Dimitri Martin, but I guess I didn't know that album. But
Lucas was holding his arms up triumphantly, like, yes, somebody gets it.
Well, most of the time, that's me in regular life. Like, I'll go walking around and quoting stand-up comics, and people will be like, what are you talking about?
I get the same thing. My mom just tells me, stick to other things, Lucas.
Yeah, you can talk about sports, and people know everything you're talking about. But if you talk about, Mike Birbiglia or
who?
some Mike
exactly.
Birbiglia,
No, I know.
people automatically go who or
it's like Sean Mooney back in the day,
right? But the match was for the undisputed DCW Heavyweight Championship, so that's what I am now, the DCW Undisputed Heavyweight Champion. I, should have brought the title with me.
You were in a rush. I know you got here pretty close to the start of the show, so it would have been one other thing. And
you got to call us out like that, put us on the spot, man.
It's what I do. I report facts. That's what I do as a broadcast journalist.
He just made a heel turn. You'll have to excuse him. He's new to being a jerk, so. Or maybe not, but radio terms.
Fair enough. See, and apparently it's passing on to this is what I'm passing on to the youth of America.
No,
apparently.
I'm just a Randy Orton. You can't tell whether or not I'm a heel or a face, except I'm not as much of a bad you-know-what.
He's just a backyard wrestler.
Oh, no. It is going down. All right. Let's take care of some business. We've got Sean from Ben Salem chiming in. We'll get to him right on the other side. And get our predictions starting to go wrong for Hell in a Cell. We'll get all that going on the Wrestling with Disaster edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Some would say that's every week, but in this case, no, there's a specific purpose for it. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas the Intern, special guest Anthony Bruno, messaging away, probably brokering some more deals as far as people to film.
No,
Cory,
I'm tweeting while we're on live.
You're tweeting. Okay, getting people to listen in. That's always a good thing, too. Alongside Cory Kastle, this is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, October 26. On this date in 1997, WCW held its Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. In the main event, Rowdy Roddy Piper defeated Hollywood Hogan by knockout in a steel cage match. On this date in 2002, WWE held its England-only Rebellion pay-per-view. In the main event, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman defeated Edge in a handicap tag team match to retain Lesnar's WWE Championship. On this date in 2008, WWE held its Cyber Sunday pay-per-view. In the main event, Batista pinned Chris Jericho to win the World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, October 26.
Hi, this is Jim Cornette, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry on 1490 WBCB.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas the Intern and special guests Anthony Bruno and Cory Kastle of the film Wrestling with Disaster, a documentary coming out early 2014 with a little help from you. As long as you go to the Kickstarter page, that'll make things happen. If you check out the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page, I've got the links to not only the movie's website, but also the Kickstarter page where you can help make a contribution. Let's go ahead and get to the phones because I know a couple people have been hanging on for quite a bit here, including Sean from Ben Salem. Sean, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Not too bad. What's going on, Sean?
I just want to say you couldn't find a better group of individuals to get the characters for a movie as far as pro wrestlers. Back in the day, all the way to now, it's just amazing the group of characters that you would run into.
These guys have done outstanding work so far, and will continue to. I know it.
Being just on the Fringe was completely damaged. helping out with that a little bit. Right into Cory Kastle, we did an interview. The more people have to be more like him, going after the microphone and looking for the camera. It was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to do an interview. You know, let's set the angle, let's huddle up a little bit, and then we'll get it done. There's a lot of young wrestlers that shy away from cameras and microphones, like, completely damage has, and it's a lot better for your character to get out there and get your presence felt.
Very well said. Cory, your thoughts?
I suck at keeping the microphone near my mouth in radio interviews. However, I appreciate the kind words, John. It was like 4 times already. Been like, keep the microphone in your mouth, man. Come on. But
it's not going to bite you.
I appreciate that. I was young and did the mistake. I had the mistake of steering away from the microphone and being really nervous. And I think partly filming this and actually doing my interview in the beginning, it was just me being talent for this, and me doing the interview has kind of breaking me of that nervousness. And I believe this movie and the last 9 months of my life has been a major step in the evolution of the personality that I am. And I want everybody else to be able to see that. And I appreciate, once again, thanks for calling in, Sean. Thank you for plugging the documentary and putting over Completely Damaged.
No problem,
Absolutely.
Sean.
Have a good night.
All right, you do the same. Looking forward to seeing you, I believe, tonight at the Triple WA show over in Bristol. Should be looking forward to that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get Ed from the Northeast up here. Ed, what's going on? Ed, the showstopper.
We got PWS coming November 16th with Hurricane and Vader and ICP.
Insane Clown Posse. Okay.
Yeah. And we got JCW hosting a pay-per-view party with Hacksaw Dog and a Hell in a Cell match.
Okay, so that's going to be tomorrow night.
Fridays in Woodridge, New Jersey.
Oh, that's right, up in North Jersey there. I think, isn't Eric Sims, ESS Promotions, doing something with that, I think?
Might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Triple WA in Bristol?
I do. In fact, I will be there in attendance tonight over at the Goodwill Firehouse Company over there on Mifflin Street. They actually asked me to do play-by-play commentary for the event, so I'll be there along with the Molsons and Straw Hat Ken Andrews and Nyla Rose. She's a tremendous women's wrestler. Grey Wolf, Kindred, a whole bunch of folks there. You can check that out at thewwa.com. Yeah, I got to make sure I get the right number of W's in there.
Do you know anything about RVD's contract and Hogan's contract?
Well, I know, thanks so much for the call. I got to get rolling. As far as RVD, I know that he's taken a few months hiatus. He kind of signed on for a couple of months, signed off for a couple of months. Hogan, meanwhile, I guess in a way he's kind of the biggest free agent in wrestling. He's still in negotiation, but hasn't exactly played his cards. So we're not really sure where things are going with that. Thanks so much for the call. They don't call him Ed the Showstopper for nothing. All right, let's get one more up here real quick. Huh?
Because we all kind of got quiet for a moment.
Something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, here's somebody who's definitely the opposite of quiet, has no problem speaking his mind, and more often than not, it's a good thing. Every once in a while, gets me into some trouble here. The one, the only, Nubius Black. What's going on, brother?
Yo.
Oh, what's up, guy?
What's cracking for Ron?
Oh, not too much. I'm doing all right. I'm just keeping on. You know how it is.
How's Yogi Bear and Boo Boo doing? I still see you keeping those cats around, right?
Yogi Bear and Boo Boo?
Yeah, your intern Boo Boo.
Hey, he's here. He's here. He's telling me, Mr. Ranger, ain't gonna like this. You know how it is.
I feel like putting him on a cheat chain. He's such a little cute thing bouncing around in his trampoline.
He's ripping you for the trampoline stuff. Security. Please, security ain't getting Nubius out of here.
No, that ain't gonna happen. Me and Cory go way back. I don't even know if Cory remembers me. I see him all the time.
Dude, I know. I remember you. I remember when I was probably 16 years old. You blamed me for pulling your groin because me and this kid did a wishbone on you. in
Yes, you
in
did.
the ring at UWF.
Now, you know how sexy and chocolate I am. You made me black and blue that night. I could barely walk.
I do remember you.
This is a guy who says, you should go to a pro wrestling school and learn how to wrestle. But don't pull another guy's groin.
Well, I had to learn how to wrestle, right?
Well, I had to learn how to take a groin pull, huh? I'll never forget that. How you doing,
man,
son?
I apologized for that, I think.
Yeah, that was good. It's all good.
And for, for good measure, let me, at this point, apologize 10 or 11 years later. I didn't mean to pull your groin. I was young.
That's okay. I had another one in the back pocket. The wife usually keeps that as a spare.
Okay, good.
This radio show just
but
went
yeah,
like
I'm glad to see you're making this
PG-13R.
movie. I'm glad you're making this movie. I was kind of concerned because it was like Wrestling with Disaster. I'm like, great, another movie that's going to just put a bad light on the business.
Right.
I mean, I've been doing this on and off for a long time, and I think I'm pretty good. I don't have no broken bones. I never hurt anyone / Cory. And I got a job. I got a wife and kids. I do it because I love it, and that's the bottom line. If you don't love it, you're not going to make it in that business. Simple as that. You got to love it.
Right. It's keeping the passion for pro wrestling and not forgetting why you got involved. And that's
exactly. And I'm glad to see that you're still keeping on because I keep in contact. There's a couple cats that trained with you back when you were in the UWF back a long time ago when you were first taking bumps. Mm-hmm. Those guys are coming out to the show next week just to see you.
Okay. Yeah.
They hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah, I'll certainly be there. I'm not quite sure of what my match is going to be, but I will be there representing UWF and Wrestling with Disaster at the same time.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. And Fearon, I'm glad to see you back from Niagara and didn't fall into the falls.
No, I didn't fall into the falls. I'm good. I got my Molson Canadian going, and I got all my maple stuff out of the way. It just naturally happens, I just talk a little bit about Canada, and all of a sudden the localism just starts to come back a little bit, eh?
I love Canada. I love it. That's one of my favorite places to go. But I just wanted to call in. I just wanted to call in and tell Cory and his boy. I forget his name. What's his buddy's name?
Anthony.
Anthony. I wish him their best. I'm gonna hit him up on Kickstarter because hey, I'm all for it. Anything that's positive about this business. I'm so tired of hearing about people dying and going to jail and don't have no money and stuff. We need some good news for a change.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Nubius. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we'll be catching you next week, right? Speaking of the UWF, they got the show over at the Lower Bucks YMCA, not too far from the BCB studios here, over on South Oxford Valley Road, right?
I will be there with bells on, and we can do the YMCA dance with the village people. I'll play the Indian.
I don't know what I'll be playing. Well, actually, based on my Halloween costume, I think I'm a little bit after the Village People days, but still in that genre. Let's just say it'll be a thriller.
That was too much of a giveaway.
Oh, man, Urkel talking over there in the background, a white Urkel.
Did I do that?
Actually, I was going to say, you look at pictures from back in the early 90s, I look just like Urkel. All I needed was the suspenders back in the day.
You're preaching to the choir. I was Urkel first before Urkel was Urkel.
You were Urkel before Urkel was Urkel. We got hipster Urkel on the line here.
The 9-inch fade. I was looking like a pencil with a giant black eraser on top.
I don't know where to go from here. that does it. You left me speechless.
Hey,
I'll call you next week, and I'll see you next week then, brother.
Oh, hold on. Cory's got one more thing for you.
Can you give us a share, bro? Give us a share on quick Kickstarter. Throw it on your social media.
Yeah, I'm going on it.
All right, appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. It was good hearing from you.
You too, man.
Nubius Black, erasing this show apparently with some of his comments, as he's always want to do. That's the business line. I'm sure that's the complaints filing in. No worries. Well, it's been a good run, almost 15 years now. We just have fun here. It's what we try to do.
It's like Robot Chicken. We get canceled at the end of every episode.
Pretty much, yeah.
But like you said, 15 years of this show. Like I said last time I was here, I used to listen to this show when I was a kid, growing up in Bucks County. I listened to Eric Argiolo on the show, and I used to go to Slack's Hoagie Shack and sit with all the kids listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly. So, keeping the tradition alive.
That's
awesome.
why this is the longest running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
Okay, Cole, you can settle down now.
Hey, it's a good stat, and I'm proud of it.
Next thing you know, you're going to be undefeated at WrestleMania, okay? Just because of a fluke from a bad general manager.
No, because that'd mean I'd have to wear an orange singlet, and trust me, nobody should be put through that. All right, real quick, we've got about 3.5 minutes here. Let's talk Hell in a Cell. I don't even want to talk Bound for Glory. We both went 2-5 in our picks.
We stunk.
Yeah, we were awful. Hopefully we'll try to do better with this one. We got 7 matches on the card. The pre-show, Curtis Axel defending the Intercontinental title against Big E Langston. I think Axel retains here. I don't know. Your thoughts, Lucas?
Axel.
We'll go around to the panel here.
Who's who in that?
Who's who?
You're just going to boo both guys.
No, they just recently turned Big E Langston face, like this past Monday.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm sorry.
So Curtis Axel.
I didn't get that far.
You didn't get the chance to see this past Monday in the DVR. It's all right.
I watched the beginning of Raw, but I didn't finish it. But I didn't notice that they put Big E Langston or babyface. That's pretty cool. I think they'll have him chase it, and I don't think Big E's going to win it. I think Curtis is probably going to take it.
There we go. Maybe win the match, but not the title. That sort of deal. Set up for something for Survivor Series, maybe
something longer running. Try to draw some attention out of it.
Absolutely. All right, Divas Championship. AJ Lee and Brie Bella. Lucas, I think I know where you're going already with this.
AJ.
Of course, he's still trying to get that date.
Oh, shut up.
You say it because you know I'm right.
Yeah, but just because you're right doesn't mean you get to say it every time.
Most times, though.
I
don't know. I'm going with AJ also,
yeah,
Corey.
Because you want that date, too, don't you, Fearon?
You don't know me that well, do you?
No,
all right,
I do know
Corey.
you. It's the fact that...
my prediction, I would say they're probably going to do a I'm picturing in my head just like
he's picturing
something,
the beautifulness.
Something similar to, an unclean victory, where it's like, maybe Bella wins, but I think it has something to do with like the buildup of her and Daniel Bryan being in a relationship and being engaged. They're probably gonna.
Oh yeah, because AJ used to be going out with Daniel Bryan.
Well, they could go that route possibly. All right, we're gonna have to go real quick on these last 5 here. They put this in here. I'm still in shock of that. Los Matadores against the Real Americans. I'm going ole.
Ole!
That's going to be entertaining.
Americans.
You're going with the Americans. All right.
Amigos.
Yeah. Oh, dear. All right. Cody Rhodes and Goldust defending the tag titles. It's still weird to say that. Against the Shield and the Usos. Triple threat match. I believe in the Shield. Your thoughts?
Rhodes and...
You're going Goldust. Got it. Yeah, don't breathe too deeply. We only got about a minute left.
I think it'd be really cool to see the Samoans get it.
I know. That's the heart pick, but my head's going with the Shield. I don't know why. I think they're going to get the titles back. CM Punk against Ryback and Paul Heyman. Handicap Hell in a Cell match.
Ryback and Heyman.
Punk.
I think we differ there. I'm going Punk. Probably,
I want Punk.
Yeah.
Because every single thing I say, every person I pick to win, the opposite wins. So I'm going to say...
So you want Punk to win, so you're picking Ryback and Heyman.
Yeah.
Clever thought.
When it comes to Punk, at least.
Alberto Del Rio defending the world title against John Cena.
John Cena.
I kind of figured, considering you're, part of a rap album. I'm going with Cena also.
Cena.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's around the board on that. And finally, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Hell in a Cell for the Abeyant WWE Championship. Shawn Michaels, guest referee.
I got a bad feeling about this, like Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. I feel like what's going to happen is that I feel like Michaels is going to betray somebody. I feel like he's either going to portray Bryan.
Who wins the title? That's the question.
Orton wins the title.
There we go.
He super kicks Bryan, and Orton.
I agree. Orton wins the title. I think Orton wins the title as well.
Yeah.
And Bryan's still in chase mode. That's going to do it for me. Special thanks again, Anthony Bruno. Good to have you on here. Good to see you again. It's been too long. Cory Kastle, same thing. Lucas, the pleasure is all yours. Fearon Derry here on Pro Wrestling Weekly. Back with more next week. We'll go over Hell in a Cell results, talk a little UWF, and we'll see what happens at the Triple WF show that I'll be going to tonight as well. Triple WA. What am I saying? Triple WA. I'm getting all old school here. That's going to do it for me. We're a bit late, folks. Good night.
1490 WBCB, Levittown, Peerless Hills.